What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today, I'm gonna try and help some people out. Now, if you are new to photography, if you're new to videography, stuff like that, you're gonna be looking on YouTube, you're gonna be looking on different social media sites, looking for inspiration, tips, stuff like that to try and help you figure out what it is you're trying to do, right? How to do what you wanna do, because maybe you're scrolling through Instagram and you just saw that one picture, just like, ooh, you want to do it. You want to recreate that for yourself, but you don't know how. I'll give you a few tips. Now, on today's list, some things are kind of hard to do, I'm not going to lie, and some things are very easy to do, and I'll let you know where I rank these tips on that scale from really easy to really complicated, and that way you can just honestly know what's in store for you, right? So the first one, I'm gonna put this not quite super easy, but it's not hard, it's a little less than in the middle, right? And that is gonna be learn to shoot in manual. Now, almost all digital cameras nowadays come with various forms of automatic features, full auto, aperture priority, shutter priority, and those are good tools when you're first beginning to learn. But if you want full control over what it is you're doing, how you're shooting and everything, you need to learn to shoot in manual. Now, shooting in manual is very easy. You got your shutter, make it fast. If you want to freeze motion, do something like that. If you're trying to get like a long light trail or some kind of blurry effect, or maybe you're just not getting enough light, roll that shutter back, make it smaller. You have your ISO down there. If your image is too dark, try to bump that up a little bit. If it's too bright, take that down a little bit. You always want to keep that as low as possible to try and preserve that image quality. But overall, shooting in manual is not very hard. Now, I am going to come out with a video that is an in-depth dive on how to shoot in manual, and if it's already live, it's right there. If it's not already live, it's not there. All right, now another tip, and this one is definitely pretty easy on the scale as long as you can get into these kinds of areas, and then just try different kinds of photography. Now, say you get a camera and you want to just take pictures of your friends, and you take one really cool picture, background's all blown out and everything, got this nice bokeh, and you're like, ooh, I want to try portraits. Well, go try some portraits, Get a light, go outside, do something, set someone up, and try to get some nice portraits. Then maybe you can go outside around your town. If you're close to a bigger city, go to the city. Something like that. Try some street photography. Try to really capture something like that. It's completely different than portraits. Everything's changing, and I'm a firm believer that street photography makes you a good photographer. You have to be really quick, work on the fly and everything. And I think it can, technically speaking, turn you into a good photographer. Now, leading off street photography, a big thing you can really work on is focus on what you're trying to tell the viewer with your photography. So example, you're in the street and you see something and you're trying to capture a certain mood, right? Say you're trying to get like a nice, moody, high contrast, loner kind of vibe, old school type of stuff. Are you gonna take a picture of a big bustling street that's full of people and they're all over the place? No, that's not the story you're trying to present to people. Now, it would be a lot better if you found, just one person, maybe one or two people walking down the street. Can y'all hear that? That truck is so loud and it's always coming through here. Anyways, find one or two people walking alongside a building or something on their own, and you see it, you can frame it up just right, and just even if there's a lot going on, but you can just kind of separate one person from the masses or something like that, that can help tell the story that you're trying to push to somebody more than everyone all over the place. So focus on the story. All right, now tip number 4, and that is going to be focus on composition. Oh my gosh. Now, if you are taking a picture of somebody, don't cut off their feet. We're all guilty of it. I've done it. I was on a shoot just a few days ago, and it was a surprise proposal. I was over there, boom, 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 busting images off, right? And I got back on the computer and I was looking at some of these images, and they Some of them have the feet cut off. Now, if you're trying to get like a bust shot, you know, a torso here up or something like that, maybe just their face, that doesn't matter. Obviously their feet aren't gonna be there, but if you're trying to get a full body shot, you have to include their feet. Oh my gosh. Small stuff like that. And the biggest fix to that is just slow down. Where I went wrong was I was moving too fast, but in a situation like that, everything is happening pretty quickly. I was moving fast, I wasn't focused on that specific part. I was more focused on getting them in focus since it was nighttime, which makes things a little bit harder. But I didn't focus on composition, and I should have. And because of that, some of those images, in my mind, are kind of useless. I don't like them. You know, if those are the images the client wants, then that's what they want. But I'm not the biggest fan of stuff like that. You know, you got other composition rules, your rule of thirds, there's one, I don't know the name of it, but it's like this weird squiggly thing. It looks really crazy. I'm sure I'll have thrown an image up on screen by now, hopefully, if I found one. But you know, stuff like that, leading the viewer's eye to certain things, using leading lines. We can go super in depth in a composition, but the moral of the story, focus on your composition. Tip number 5. Now, like I said earlier, maybe that one picture on Instagram is what you saw and what you really liked. So you started following this photographer, right? You're scrolling through their feed, you're, oh, I like this, I like this, I like this. Go out and take some photos. Sitting in your room, sitting in your living room, in your office, looking at this and these things, and wanting to capture images like that so bad, but never doing it isn't gonna make you a better photographer. All right, it's not gonna get you those images. You need to go out and find those images yourself. You need to go capture them on your own. You have to go do that. And sitting down isn't gonna do that for you. Now, granted, sometimes that's hard. Maybe you're at work and your inspiration strikes and you can't just leave work. Well, maybe you can, I don't know, I can't. But you can't just leave work to go do something like that, right? But if you have the availability and I feel like availability is the wrong word. You have the option, the opportunity, there we go, to go out and get some photographs, go do it. Stop wanting to go do it and just go do it. Once you get out there, I promise you, you will not regret it. Now, before we go any farther, if you are not already subscribed and you feel like you're getting something from this video, hit that subscribe button, smash that little notification bell so YouTube lets you know whenever I upload new content. It does help a lot. Drop a like on the video, guys. I appreciate it, I do. Next tip. Tip number 6. All right, now I'm gonna tie back in to that Instagram thing I was just talking about, right? Take inspiration from other photographers if that's what you want to do. I've done it, the greats have done it. You know, everyone has inspiration from something, but do not copy them. And I can tell you right now as to why I say don't copy someone else's photography. And that's because you can't do it. You cannot take photos like I take photos. I cannot take photos like you take photos. That's the nature of it. That's how it is. Everyone in this art form has their own style, their own flair they can just sprinkle on something, you know? You don't have what I have, and like I said, I don't have what you have. So we cannot create each other's work. But I can take inspiration from what I see, and you can do the same. So really think about that. Don't go out with the idea to try and copy someone else's work, because when you get home and you upload those images and you're trying to edit them, all you're gonna do is be upset because you wouldn't have copied that person the way you wanted to. Find your own style. Go out, shoot, figure out what it is you like to do and how you like to do things. Keep that inspiration in mind and make something your own. Don't copy someone else's. That's not how we do things. It's not. Because at the end of the day, say you find your own style. Eventually, someone's gonna wanna copy you. You'll be that inspiration one day. You just gotta differentiate yourself. Make yourself stand out. That's the only way someone's gonna want to be inspired by you. Just saying. Tip number 7. Now, this is the good one. This is the one that no one's gonna wanna hear. This is the tip that, oh, no one wants to hear this. And this is definitely something that can help you be a better photographer, I promise. And that tip is the realization that gear does not make you a better photographer. I know, I said it. No one wants to hear it. I don't even want to hear it. But it's the truth, all right? If all you have is an iPhone, go shoot with your iPhone. The best camera is what you have with you. And you've probably heard that a million times right now, but the best camera you have is the one you have with you. Whether that be a 1DX, a Sony ABC, I don't know. They've got like 20 million different A somethings. An R6, an M50, Samsung, something. Go shoot with what you have. Aspire to get more, but don't let that hold you back, all right? You can get great images with pretty much any digital camera that's coming out today, any phone. You can go out and snap some crazy stuff. Just use it. Don't let that gear demon that's like, oh, go buy this, go buy that. Don't let that one make you go broke, because whoo, that happens. And just use what you got, you know, learn from it. You know, if you've got a camera that holds you back in low light because it doesn't have IBIS or it doesn't have good low light quality, you know, something like that, figure out how to make it good. Someone's done it before. There's a tip out there on how to do it. Go learn. It's gonna make you a better photographer, I promise. Skirt! I just realized I went through all of these and I only did the little scale thing on like 1 or 2. So, learn to shoot manual. That was towards the bottom. We got think about the story. I'm actually gonna put that a little bit above. Not half. Not shooting manual. Just like right there. And that's gonna float right kinda in with composition as well, because you actually have to think about what you're doing. You gotta think while you're doing it, as you're doing it. So those aren't the hardest things in the world, but they're definitely not the easiest. So they're around that halfway point, just a little bit below. Gear doesn't make you a better photographer. That one's up here. Not at the top. It's pretty high up there though, because it's just one of those things that's hard to get over, man. We always want something new. We always do. So it's not a hard thing to work around. It's not a hard thing to, you know, like that, I guess, but it is kind of hard to accept. Don't try and copy someone else. I'm gonna put that above the halfway point. And that's mainly for new photographers, right? Because you want to copy, you may not want to copy, but you're taking so much inspiration, you almost end up copying without trying to. So it's kind of up there. You got to think about that, to not copy, but take inspiration. Try out different styles of photography. That one is way down here. That's really easy as long as you have access to something, you know. Go downtown, go outside, go in your garage, do some portraits, set a light up. That's what I'm doing right now. That's a sheet. This is a sheet, there's a light bulb right there. I got a light right there. I just have everything set up. You know, work with what you have and just make it happen. Go out and shoot, there we go. That kind of goes with the try out different styles of photography. That one's pretty easy. You just have to realize that you need to go out and do it. All right, it's not that hard. Put shoes on, throw a bag on, grab the camera, go outside, make it happen. All right, guys, and that is gonna wrap everything up for today. That was 7 tips for new and experienced photographers. You know, for the newer guys, some of that stuff could help you speed up your progression in this art form, you know. For people that have been taking photos for a year, maybe you're starting to slip a little bit, and it kind of like reels you back in, makes you think like, wow, I've been cutting a lot of feet off lately. Top of that guy's head was cut off. I was trying to tell this story, but I did have that in there. It's the little things that can make a big difference. Don't think you're done learning. You never are. Now guys, like I said earlier, if you felt like you got something from this video, make sure you smash that like button. It helps a lot. It really does. Subscribe to see more. Little notification bell over there, so YouTube lets you know whenever I upload new content. And until next time, I'll see you later. Peace.